Jane Johansson. I am a sustainability advocate, cookbook author, absolute food lover, as well as a furious and annoying environmentalist. And when you combine all these things, you get someone who uses cooking and gastronomy as a coping mechanism. I talk about food a lot and I try to make as many recipes easily available. Find my recipes on my website, always linked in my description. I've also written the cookbook Sustainable Gourmet about plant-based ingredients and how you can elevate plant-based recipes into fine dining. Those are my credentials. This video is for you if you are also a foodie who loves eating food as well as making it, but it's also a video for you who's trying to figure out plant-based cooking, perhaps trying to implement more plant-based proteins in your diet, trying to dabble in vegetarian or plant-based recipes. This is also for you. This is meant to make life easier for you. I have compiled a list of 20 things. 10 flavor related things like ingredients, flavor components, and 10 tools that are absolutely non-negotiable in my kitchen, that I always have in hand, that I swear by, that are, and I hate to use this word because it's giving influencer trying to sell you shit, but these are my essentials. I spend my own damn money on this and I don't work with any of these companies. So there's that. My environmentalism and sustainability awareness comes from the zero waste movement. That's sort of where I began. So I cannot possibly not talk about jars. I'm a firm believer in glass jars instead of cling film, aluminium film, plastic, any kind of, disposable product. And you probably already have these resources on hand. You just need to look at them differently. I use supermarket jars like this for food storage, and this was free, practically. I paid for the jam inside, but reusing it. However, I also swear by these jars. These from Vec are absolutely fantastic. And this was also food packaging. I got some ready meals that were in these jars and they are so fantastic. This is my new mason jar. I use these for basically everything. And yes, you can also freeze in jars. There are just 2 tricks you need to be aware of. Firstly, temper the glass. Don't take something super hot and put it into the glass, then put it into the fridge. Actually, never put really hot things into glass. Run the glass under the warm tab or let your dishes cool before you put them into glass. And when you want to freeze them, just make sure that there are roughly like 2 fingers worth of space in the top for the liquid to expand. And you're good to go. Flavor. I have this massive pet peeve when it comes to cooking plant-based dishes, especially so when you're a beginner and you're trying to find out how to pair different ingredients. It's a whole new field, so I get that can be overwhelming and intimidating. So here's some of the flavors that I absolutely swear by, that always give my food the extra je ne sais quoi. First of all, this garlic and chili paste has been a staple in my kitchen for almost 10 years. I travel with it. I'm not even kidding. I went on a camping trip for a week once and I brought this. I give this away for Christmas. But honestly, just adding like a spoonful in your soups, in your stir fries, massive difference, world of difference. It's so nice. Any kind of garlic chili paste that you want, but this is definitely my personal favorite. I've never found one I liked more than this. When it comes to tools, there will be companies trying to sell you shit from every single direction. And the more specific the tools, the less functional they tend to be. I like tools that are versatile, things you can use for multiple things. Tools with multiple functions are not only just way easier to use and apply in your kitchen, it's also more sustainable to have like one good thing that can do many things rather than, many things that can only do one thing. That's not really it. And there is one tool that is by far the most important. I kind of want to say it's a must-have, even though I hate that word. It's very much giving influencer doing a Temu haul. A sharp knife. With emphasis on sharp. Listen, we need to take better care of our knives. It's a global society. The vast majority of cutting accidents also happen with dull knives. You don't need to sharpen it every single day, but you do need to. You can either take it to a professional or you can do it at home. I tend to gravitate towards letting the professionals do the sharpening for me. And I really want to emphasize good storage for your knife as well. Now, flavor, or at least an ingredient. It doesn't really have flavor. It is the platform for which flavor can flourish. These are soy granulates and I use these every day, almost every day. I use them often. I buy a big bag in bulk. I will leave a link down below. I think the company that makes these are called Plant-Made. And I buy, a massive bag and then I just store them smaller containers, so I always have them on hand. And what I like to do with them, you can do tons of things. You can make like a ragu for like a bolognese. You can make taco meat. I do all of those things, but my favorite thing to do with them, you let it rehydrate in water for like 5 minutes, drain the water, and then I fry them in oil and add a bouillon that I will show you later to make crispy bacon bites. And then I put them into my fridge and I can sprinkle them on my salads, on my tacos, on everything. And then I just have them for the whole week. Tool. Spatula. This is a multi-tool that I use for everything from flipping things on my pan, to scraping things off, to creating clean, even surfaces, to... Also, this tends to be my microphone holder sometimes as well, so you know. Very, very, very functional, many directions. A super basic ingredient and flavor source that will make the world of a difference and that I swear by is freshly ground pepper. None of that pre-ground, like where the pepper is already a powder. Get a grinder, take whole peppercorns. The difference in the flavor profile, it's so absurd. I didn't expect to wake up today and be this passionate about freshly ground pepper, but here we are. And another really basic tool that I have to advocate for is the wooden spoon. None of that plastic bullshit that releases microplastic. This has some wear on it. It's not even a spoon at this point, honestly. Like, look at that. I do have like ladles and like other kinds of spoons, both in wood as well as in stainless steel. But this is my preferred stirring spoon. I found it in a thrift store and I continue to use it. It's just a wand, really, like with a flat tip. Let me know down below if you also have like a preferred spoon or like a preferred tool that you use for everything. Every time I share a recipe with this ingredient, I will have people ask me what the hell that is. So let's talk about MSG. MSG is a flavor enhancer and you often find it in Asian cuisines. In the West, it has gotten a really bad reputation because of, more than anything, xenophobia and racism. Some very few, very rare people are a little sensitive to the use of MSG, but it is really nothing to worry about. And I think it was like 10 or so years ago, like everyone was super scared of MSG and everyone were talking about how they can sort of feel a headache coming on if they have something with MSG in it. No. I advocate against MSG slander because this is a fucking amazing thing. It enhances the flavors already there. It adds umami, it adds deepness to your flavors. I use this in stir fry sauces. I use this in filling for my dumplings. Let us hear it for those who are skeptical about ingredients that they cannot pronounce. Anyway, I really appreciate tools that work. I know, crazy. And one of the tools that has worked the best for me is a microplane. I use this for onions, garlic, ginger. I use this for tofu. It is so fantastic for creating fine texture. If you're looking for efficiency, she's your girl. Now these next two ingredients, I'm just gonna, have them as one category, but they're really two different things. But they sort of do the same thing and I always use them together. So there we go. It's vegan fish sauce and vegan oyster sauce. Oyster sauce and fish sauce are some of the things that I gave up once I went vegan. But what these things do is that they also enhance flavors that are already there. They create a depth. It's not necessarily so to make your food taste of oysters and fish, but it's more so a nuance that it is adding. Specifically like salty umami for fish sauce. And this oyster sauce has some sugar in it as well. And what this does to any sauce is immaculate. If you want to find them, this is what they look like. And I really, really highly recommend. This is based on seaweed and soy. And this is based on agave and tamari. A little tool that I also feel like deserves some kind of praise is the sieve. I have these in different sizes and every time I see them in thrift stores, I feel like I want to, because I use them often. I use these to fish things out of my frying oil. I use them to smoothen out purees. They sort of end up becoming this little versatile tool that I just used for everything. They're also nice for rinsing. I have them big and I have them small. Remember what I said about the textured soy protein and that I'm adding this bouillon to it? I want to talk about that now because this has been a staple for a few years. It's from a Danish brand, but I'll link them down below. They're called Umami, and these are the two that I swear by. You can get them in smaller bags, but I just decided to go for it and get like the industry-sized bags because I kept rebuying them anyway. This is with bacon and this is with cheese. They're 100% plant-based. They also have an ocean flavor, vegetable flavor. They have a chicken stock, they have a beef stock, all plant-based. Are you kidding me? Like, do you know like the bacon crisps? If you've had like crisps with bacon flavor, it sort of reminds me of that. So when you have like a crispy little thing, I just add this on top and it gives it that same little bacon crisp flavor. They're also organic, by the way. I'm sorry if I'm coming off all parenty now, but you really need to change your cutting board, love. You really need to throw away, and yes, I'm asking you to throw something away. Throw away the plastic cutting board. I know there are bigger issues in the world. I know there are bigger sources of pollution as well, but this is such an easy one to fix. So why aren't you doing it? You can get wooden cutting boards everywhere you look. Thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, or even buy one from new because it's literally gonna last you a lifetime. Don't put it in the dishwasher. Once in a while, maintain it with a little bit of cooking oil on it, and that's it. And please, I have found this by the side of the road and cleaned it up and used it. It started out by me telling you what I like, and now I'm just ordering you to change something about yourselves. I'm so sorry about that. It's just, she's passionate. Okay. Now you're getting 3 in 1 here, because this next ingredient is both anti-food waste hack, it is a flavor enhancer, and it's a life hack on how to use mushrooms in the most effective way. Aren't you excited? I am excited. So if you dehydrate your mushrooms, once you rehydrate them to add them to any kind of like sauce, stew, ragu, whatever, they are going to be so much more intense in its flavor. When you dry them and then you rehydrate them, that is going to intensify the flavor. I have a dehydrator to do that, but you can also use your oven on the lowest setting. Often you have to get them in like this really big bunch and you can't eat all of them. That happens to me a lot. So what I do is that I dehydrate the rest of them and I save them like this. This way they have a much longer shelf life, and they also, they're gonna taste better. A tool that is worthy of a recommendation is the stainless steel pot. Now you can get these in thrift stores because people always donate them because they have no idea how to use them. But this is the best thing ever. I'm not gonna ask you to throw away your pots and pans with like the Teflon coating if you don't want to, and if they're, you know, unbroken, but if they have scratches in them, they're releasing up to 9,000 microplastic particles per scratch. So, you know, that's something to consider. Once you learn how to cook with these, like, your sorrows are over. Making easy pan sauces is also much easier in something like this because you get a little bit of that like burning, not actual burning, but a little bit of that sort of char on the bottom. You can reintegrate that into your sauce, and you're not gonna get the same thing with a nonstick. So my sauces are just improved just by using a different pan. An ingredient that tends to intimidate people a lot when it comes to plant-based cooking is tofu. And my first recommendation is understanding the different types of tofu and what they each individually can do. Firm tofu, extra firm tofu, what they're good at. I have tons of recipes about tofu, by the way. I'll link them down below. But my absolute favorite is silken tofu, both for savory snacks as well as for sauces and desserts. Can I just gush about tofu for a while? Because it gets such a bad rep. I have had tofu served to me. That was just not it. And then I thought I didn't like it. And then I found out that you can actually cook it well, and then I liked it. What? I know. And I have the assumption that that is the case for vast majority of tofu haters. I'm sorry, but I think I can fix you. Just let me fix you. And a tool that is slightly more specific but still incredibly versatile to me are stainless steel, like cooking rings, like food rings. I use these to shape my food, to create texture, to create patterns. You can use them as cookie cutters, and I like to use them for plating as well. So you can place them on your plate and you can put in like your little salad, your little rice, or whatever you want, and create nice, fun textures and compositions. I think that's really cool. You can also use them to cut out perfect circles in your vegetables. I use them for pomme fondant, which is like a potato, and then I'm just gonna insert a picture instead of trying to explain. Anyway, vegan butter for flavor, texture, just generally, but not any vegan butter. I know that there's a big quality spectrum here. This is the one that I swear by, and I know you can get this outside of Denmark as well, but it is from a Danish brand. It's Naturli, and it's their just block butter. This is the shit. It browns the same way that dairy butter would do, which I think is so fantastic. It means that you can just basically take this butter and you can use it as you would with any kind of butter you've seen a recipe. Some vegan butters are more so leaning towards being a margarine. The last tool, and this is not for everyone, but it is for me and I use it so often, food tweezers. Oh my goodness, I also have them bigger so you can like flip things over on the pan, but this is primarily for plating. You can also use a set of tweezers that you get in, you know, like a beauty store, and then you just have them in your kitchen and you use them specifically for that. But I do like that the tongs are a little bit longer here. But this means I suddenly have a little precision claw where I can move things around without putting my big fingers into it. Lost flavor or ingredients is also kind of a food waste hack. So if you like to cook a lot of Asian inspired dishes, I do, they often call for fresh ginger. And I had like a long period of time where I would do this thing where I would buy fresh ginger and I would use it in a recipe and then it would go bad in my fridge. Do you know how that feels? Because that's really frustrating. Then I saw someone say, just pop it into your freezer. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So I just take my ginger, I pop it into my freezer. Whenever I need it, I take it out, I cut away the bit that I need and I pop it back into my freezer. Which means that your ginger stays fresh for so much longer. This is extremely cold to hold, by the way. That means that I don't have to re-buy something that keeps going bad in my fridge over and over. And fresh ginger is different than powdered ginger. I don't want to talk about dry powdered ginger. I don't want to talk about it. This thing, however, I got this in September. And with that was my non-negotiables, my essentials, or must-haves, but like my favorite things that I always use and that I use every single day, that I always gravitate towards, and that makes cooking both fun, easy, and delicious. If you recognize some of these things and if you feel the same way, or if you don't, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye.